Hello and welcome to the CEO1440 Show, the Mortgage Broker Builder Show, where we look to maximize your 1,440 minutes every single day, looking at bringing you tips, techniques, tactics, different things as a mortgage broker, mortgage professional to help you move a little bit faster, do more, stay in business longer, make more money, and have a better life. And this week, we've got a guest here. I'm actually new to the guy. I don't even really know him that well. But what I do know is when I keep getting asked over and over, hey, John, what do you think about this? Hey, have you seen this? I set up a demo with these guys, walked through it and said, this is too good to keep to myself. Got to get out there and share it. And as you guys know, there's nothing in this for me. We're going to talk about their product, the thing they have. I'm not getting paid, nothing like that. It's just to bring you the best information as I see it, when I come across it, and allow you to make decisions to move faster and hopefully have a better life. So with all that said, I've got Jared Hart here. I'm not sure if he's related to the Hart brothers or Bobby the Brain Heenan or any big time wrestling people. I'm sure he's heard that before. That's me being funny. So we got Jared Hart with LoanOfficer.AI. And Jared, how are you?
Good, John. Thanks for having me. I appreciate the time and excited to talk to you guys about kind of my background and the product that we've got. And I think it really offers a lot of value for mortgage brokers.
Yeah, I think that inside of the space. So, well, I guess we'll just start here. Right, enough about me. People know who I am. A little bit about you. Just give us a quick background. We're here also, just so everybody knows, we're here to talk about a CRM software called LoanOfficer.AI. Probably a little bit about Jared's journey, how he got here. And hopefully the takeaway is, at the end of this, there's 1, 2, 3 things that you can apply into your business to help you just move better, have better understanding. Or if not, just when you're at that next conference, you'll be like cooler. You'll be with the cool people talking about the in stuff. So all of that being said, so Jared, I looked at your LinkedIn, did a couple of different things. You own a mortgage brokerage, CEO, founder, president of a mortgage broker for years, and now have kind of dove into the AI space as well. Can you just kind of walk us through that journey? How'd you get here?
Yeah. So I've been a mortgage guy for pretty much my entire life. I started in 2001 as a processor. Got into the business from an ad in the paper. Started being like a junior processor, and I saw what loan officers were making. I was like, I got to do that. So, became a loan officer really quickly, and just kind of ran with it from there, and started my own company. Did that for quite a few years when I was in another state. I'm in California. I was originally from Utah, and I had some business partners. We would I ended up moving out of Utah to California, and ended up starting my own shop all by myself. And in that process, I realized, okay, man, I went from a 4-man crew to a 1-man crew. I need to find a better way to manage this thing by myself, to be able to systemize things. And so I started talking to some software guys and decided I need to build some sort of a CRM. And this was, mid 2000, 14, 15. And there wasn't a ton of options at that point. So we just kind of started building something. We did a lot of direct mail consumer stuff. And so we would integrate like mail IDs and things like that. We would pull the data in, and it was a real slick system to be able to propose to do a lot of high volume FHA streamlines, things like that. So we built that system out, used that for quite a few years internally, and then COVID happened, and I ended up really just kind of switching gears. I was a correspondent lender and switched to become back to a broker, and just really kind of shrunk my footprint and really kind of made more of my focus on doing the actual software stuff. And so with the advancement of where AI is at, we saw an opportunity to let's really try to go all in with this AI and bring that into the system. So we rebuilt the system with the AI incorporated into the whole setup. And so that's kind of the history, the background of where I got to where I'm at. I'm no longer writing loans. I actually shut down my mortgage company. Didn't renew my NMLS this last year. And the software is my primary venture. But this is really where my passion is. It's really diving in and actually solving problems that are real life case scenarios, things that that I experienced, and to be able to really make a difference on this type of an industry, to make a dent in the mortgage industry with what AI is capable of doing. So that's where we're at right now. And the product, we had some really great feedback from people. A lot of the users that like it are really astounded by the things that AI is able to do. I'm even surprised oftentimes about some of the things with the product. But that's the whole thing, is you plug yourself into the AI network, and we don't really know exactly how the AI works. It just does, and it comes to the actual conclusions that the OpenAI and that these large language models come to. We plug into that data. We're actually powered by OpenAI. We of course have mortgage-related AI agents that are trained on specifics of what we need to have happen, from the context of a mortgage CRM. But that's kind of the setup of how I got to where I'm at, kind of what our product is based off of, and yeah, happy to answer any questions you guys have about that or elaborate.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of questions, and hopefully I'm asking them for the masses. It's really easy to sit down at a presentation deck and walk through things, but I just kind of want to like go behind the curtain. I'm sure there's someplace, right? They can probably go on YouTube and see a demo and all kinds of that. So I kind of want to go behind that and look at, kind of just some use case things, some different stuff there. So you went out, and if you started back 14, right, you had like Lead Mailbox, Leads 360, which is now Velocify, some different things. What made, a mortgage guy think that creating his own was better than just buying one of those out of the box that's kind of done? And most of the industry was going that way. Like, where was your brain there?
Right. Where my brain was I couldn't really get exactly done what I needed to have done. What that was is I wanted to have an ID on my mail pieces that were going out, that when that borrower gave me that ID, I could put it into my system and I could pull all the county data that I have for that borrower, because I was all about efficiency and speed. I wanted to have that first call to be able to pull in that borrower's information, verify their interest rate, amortize out the loan, get my mortgage balance proposed for the FHA streamline, and have a whole process of here's what has to happen next, here's what has to happen next, and then get to that point where I can actually propose something to my borrower, have it in their inbox on that same phone call with a breakdown of here's what you'd be saving, here's what your cash would be. And so it was about the process of what needed to have happen during that initial phone call or origination cycle of what we were doing. Of course, this was heavy refinance at the time, and so a lot of different flows that you would need as compared to somebody that's doing referral business with real estate agents. Now our system is obviously works with both setups, but my point being is the reason that I wanted to build something was I really had kind of a specific use case, and I guess just not quite knowing what I was biting off at that time, I just went in and it just kind of became part of the way that I ran my business. I always had some sort of an IT expense built into my P&L to hire my development team. And I think the way that we were able to scale and the added efficiency that it brought in, it paid for itself over those years. But that was kind of the logic of where I was at.
Got it. And so you were doing almost all just streamlines, mailers. I like to think of, I think of CRMs in a lot of different weird ways. One way is, right, I see a lot of these tools out there, and they've built like a Lamborghini where most mortgage bankers maybe only need a golf cart to drive to the end of their road and back, and they've got this super robust thing, no idea how to use it, and very intimidating, and a lot of bells and whistles that mean absolutely nothing. And I have a perception on value. Value is only what it is interpreted by the person, by the receiver of it, not the giver, right? So that's the perceived part. And where would you say, so CRMs, back to that, I see some that are very good at data management and some that are very good at lead management, right? If I'm buying leads, like the sorting, the processing part, those kind of things. How do you delineate, do you even think that there's a difference between the two? Is it moving fast enough now that pretty much all of them can do both? Is it built out?
Hey, if you're here, it's because you understand that the world is changing at an alarming rate, and you understand that big data is going to dominate as we move forward. Either you're going to use it to grow your market share, or somebody's going to use it against you to grow theirs. If you want to dig a little bit deeper here, take a look at your own business, figure out and identify some key constraints, maybe some things that you could do a little bit differently to grow a little faster. Here's what I can tell you. After 27 years of doing this, helping well over 1,000 loan officers earn hundreds of millions of dollars in commissions, there are a couple of key constraints inside of your business. I don't know what they are right now. I just know that they exist. So if you're curious about this, let's get on a strategy call. Take 20, 30 minutes. You will walk away with one or two actionable items that you can do to do more business as you move forward. There'll be a link someplace here on the page. I look forward to personally meeting you.
Well, Yeah, so I mean, there's a couple of aspects to what you're asking there. So data and lead management. Okay, so the data is what's included within the lead. What do we know about the borrower? What do we know about this prospect? And then there's the actual lead, as far as the communication, the campaigns, the outreach. So basically blending those two. What our system does and our approach is with Loan Officer AI, we bring in as much data as we possibly can into the actual lead record, because for AI to perform, it needs context, and the more context we can give to the AI, the better it's going to perform in subsequent messaging and understanding of what's happening with that borrower. Now, that being said, the most important thing to do is to give direction to the AI as well. So let's say, for example, you're bringing leads in from Zillow, right? So what we have set up is we with all of our users, we utilize the AI to build out an initial campaign, because what we want to do is we want to have all the touch points pre-scripted, as far as day number 1, we're texting them. Day number 2, we're texting and emailing. Day number 3, we're doing this. So that's all pre-scripted for every user, based off of what their needs are when they set that campaign up. Because what we actually do is we rely upon AI to build the campaign. When we bring in a new user, we don't have, we do have templates within it, but we typically, 9 times out of 10, users have specific use cases that they want for their campaigns. I got it from this real estate agent. I got this from, these Zillow leads, and I wanted to say that I'm co-marketing with this person, right? So what we do is we build the campaign by telling the AI what the objective is. So we'll set the frequency. Is this going to be a campaign that's going to run 90 days? And do we want it to be a high frequency touch campaign, or a medium frequency, or low frequency? So we kind of point the AI in the direction of what we need to see happen. And then we say, this is to bring in leads from the Zillow, realtor share portal, and the objective of the campaign is we want to book calls with them so that we can do a pre-qualification, right? So telling the campaign, the AI, the campaign objective, the campaign will actually be built by the AI. So it will build all those touch points out over the first 90 days so that we can give that initial experience to that borrower exactly what we want to have happen. We pre-script that out, which is important to do. As good as AI is, it's not going to be able to identify to the same level of human as the nuances of how and that messaging needs to happen, right? So the AI is directed in the direction that it needs to go, and then we put on an AI assistant that will basically work with the lead to continue the campaign. If, say, a borrower's been in the campaign for 90 days, they never replied, it's kind of fallen out. In a lot of systems, that's going to just sit there and collect dust. But what our AI assistant does is it will continue to engage with that borrower, following up with them. Hey, wanted to see, are you still in the market to buy a house? We'd looked into, trying to pre-qualify you through Zillow. We never, connected. Are you still interested? So it's going to continue that conversation, continue those efforts, and that's the way that we're able to utilize the data as well as the campaigns to kind of merge them together, because now the AI is going to have a lot of information with regards to that borrower, where they came from, what their purpose was, the history of the conversation, the history of the tone, and then it will be able to continue that flow in that same voice. So that's kind of the mixture that we have along the two.
Got it.
Yeah.
So I just have a quick question there, right? Like, one of the beautiful things about AI is it's patient. It will work a lead flawlessly on whatever cadence you tell it for the next, it'll do it for 200 years. It doesn't go on vacation. So if I go back to that, one of the biggest things that people are intimidated by this, and again, like, I've sat through your demo, and that's why we're here today, is because it
Right.
didn't suck. And a lot of what I see out there is actually, it's kind of fake AI. It's somebody saying it's AI and it's not, where yours actually looked like it. So one of the things that I see in a lot of people is they're super intimidated. So if we just take that Zillow thing, and right now there's thousands, if not tens of thousands, of loan officers that get Zillow leads currently, because their only value back to the agent is sharing a Zillow spend. It shows up, they get all these emails with the lead, but they never call them. Supposedly there's somebody in a foreign country calling them on the agent's end. How hard
Right.
is it if I sign up with your thing and I wanted to go back in and, let's say, pull my old Zillow leads that I haven't touched in the last 6 months, put them into your thing as a, like a re-incubation period, and get that up and rolling? Like, is a knuckle dragger, a guy closer to 100 than 0, able to do this in an afternoon?
Yeah, that's going to be really simple, and a couple of reasons is, number one, with bringing in a bulk import of data, we have an bulk import tool where the AI is going to basically match all the cells for you. Anything that's extra, you can just select to throw it into the notes, right? Maybe you have some fields that don't necessarily need to be imported. You can throw everything additional into the notes. So you'll be able to retain every bit of data that's in your initial spreadsheet, first and foremost. Secondarily, the messaging to that data, right? So we bring all those borrowers, those Zillow leads in. Now, what are we going to say to them? So utilize the AI. These are new leads from Zillow, or I should say old leads from Zillow. We want to re-engage them. We're not sure if they've purchased a house, so we want to find out. We want to follow up. Are you still interested? The AI will create that messaging based off of what you want. Do you want this to go for 90 days, for a year? Do you want it to go for 30 days? How often do you want the frequency going out on these, right? So you can kind of gauge the AI in regards to the ultimate result of what you want. Give it the objective. It will build all the messaging. It can be turned on appointment mode as well. That's really strong because that's something I've never seen anybody else be able to do the way that our system does. Is if appointment setting mode is turned on, any reply from a borrower on a lead will automatically be engaged by the AI. And this is high level AI with regards to knowing mortgage guidelines. This isn't just some AI conversation flow. This is full on chatting with like ChatGPT. So any questions with regards to agency guidelines, anything with regards to mortgage regulations, things like that, it knows inside and out. And then we also have added product, product teaching within the application for LOs. If you're doing anything that's DSCR, fix and flip, those non-QM products that AI has an understanding, but it's not going to be quoting guidelines or LTVs or things like that because they're all investor specific. But if you put into our AI and you tell it, hey, here's what my investors are, here's our best case, DSCR, we're going up to 90% LTV, with a 680 FICO. Throw that into the product information. The AI is going to be able to spout that off so that if anybody's asking questions, whether it be a realtor or a borrower, and says, hey, what do you guys do on these DSCR programs? And AI will be able to spit right out and say, here's what we have. Let's set up a call with your loan officer and we can go over the specifics with you. But it's going to actually answer and it's going to engage with borrowers and realtors live, real time, with regards to what your objective is. Because when we bring you in, we're giving the loan officer, teaching the AI the loan officer's bio, his schedule, when's he available to take calls, what days of the week does he want to make himself available, what's the loan application link, what's your YouTube channel. All these things are put into the system so AI has access to knowing how to represent the LO. The more that you use the AI when it's in AI assistant mode, because AI will actually not only do the appointment setting for you, but once a borrower's actually started a loan transaction, it's no longer in AI mode. The AI will actually prompt you with 3 possible replies to every text or email a borrower sends. So it will literally write your replies for you. You just select the one that you want to do. If you make any changes, the AI is going to learn your voice. It's going to mimic your cadence more. So quite literally, it's an AI assistant that's following the entire flow of the transaction with you.
So I have quite a few people now that are dealing with a lot of Hispanic speaking, Portuguese speaking, and their native language is not necessarily, English.
Right.
I'm pretty sure that you guys have the ability, right? Like to ask that question up front, would you prefer to communicate in Spanish? And the AI doesn't care what language. Am I kind of correct on that?
Absolutely. Yeah. In fact, anybody that replies in a different language, the AI is automatically going to detect that language and it's going to reply in kind. So somebody gets a text message and they reply back, como habla español, it's going to come back, it's going to start speaking Spanish.
And back to that initial use case, right? So people are intimidated. People hate to change CRMs because they've been just through time, they've been promised this long laundry list of things that it's going to do. And most of the time it falls flat. So I got those Zillow leads. I bulk import them. I do something. Would it be realistic to say today's Thursday, if I got things going by Tuesday of next week, I could be hitting all of my old Zillow leads from the last year?
Yeah, in fact, I mean, it wouldn't even take you that long. You could do it same day. As far as if you've got the data prepped, you just do the bulk upload and create the campaign objective, and then hit start. Select which ones you want in the campaign, and the campaign will launch. So quite literally, you could have a booking appointments for you within an hour. If you have all the data prepared and you're ready to upload it. So yeah, getting launched is really quite quick within our application.
And what about, I've heard horror stories of people trying to get numbers for like
Right. So
A2P, for sending
A2P.
text. And right,
Right.
I think it's way better today. And
Hmm.
but still, is that something like, do I have to, if I'm signing up with you, is that something I have to have my own numbers? I need to do something, or do you guys handle that part of the implementation as well?
Right. Yeah. So we have a two-step process. So when somebody onboards with us, we well, first and foremost is that we have to register for the A2P for you. But while we're taking care of that, we set you up under our account. So your phone numbers are set up right away. Everything's set up right away. We put as your agent. All of your A2P is set up under us, and then we, behind the scenes, we're getting your A2P directly set up. It takes about 10 to 14 days for us on the behind the scenes, but it's taken care of, and it's seamless for you. So the end user never even really realizes it. We take care of everything up front as far as gathering all the EIN information. And it was a bit of a hassle initially when the industry adopted it, and I think that people are kind of finally starting to adjust to it, and so it's not really much of an issue. The key being, of course, if you do have existing phone numbers that you want to port in, plan on an additional 2-week time frame for that to happen.
Got it. So again, the point I want to make there is this is probably easier than what you might think. What about, what was I going to ask? If I go out and I have this, what's the, like, I've seen the UI. Let's say I'm a loan officer, right? I live on the road and I got my phone. How does it interact? Like, do I get notifications on my phone? I'm a loan officer. What's the use case? Like, how are most of
Right.
people using it today?
Yeah. So we're in the process of developing our mobile application. We anticipate having that ready by the summer. And when that's ready, it's basically to be like having a WhatsApp on your phone. You open it up, you've got your conversations. It's primarily, the app's primarily going to be for the communication portion, managing conversations, texting, emailing, calling, which is the primary uses of why you would want, what you need to be doing out on the road primarily. We are currently mobile friendly, so you can log into the application via your Chrome, your Safari, and do all the same use cases within the mobile friendly version. And then we've also got one additional tool where any responses into the application will automatically forward an email to you, to any email you want directly, instantly. So if you need to be on call, waiting for something from a borrower, it will ping you directly onto your email. So those are the setups that we've got as far as expediting the process of that communication. Otherwise, a lot of loan officers are setting up the tools on the desktop version and just allowing the AI to kind of crank away and set those appointments and schedule those meetings. Oh, John, I think you're on mute.
Oh, sorry.
There we go.
No, I coughed and and then I didn't turn it back off. So as far as the communication goes, I'm assuming that the AI, right, it's pulling in multi-channel. It's just going to sort it all and just communicate in the place that the person is.
Right.
So if somebody replies to me, am I going to, and I'm sure this is stuff, right? I'm probably giving you harder questions, but if somebody replies via text, am I just replying to, the AI doesn't care where it is. It's just going to go back to the channel wherever that person came from, correct?
Yeah, so the AI always does an assessment on the channel as far as, if previous interactions with the borrower have all been on text, it's going to do any additional communication via that same channel. So it has a preferential channel based off of previous history. So it's going to stick to that channel. Only instances where it would switch up is if you really haven't had any communication with the borrower, and it will just kind of follow best practices as far as, how it's going to try to follow up with people. But typically, the AI assistant is used primarily for post-campaign communication, leads that you've already got a significant history of, communication or communication attempts with.
And if I'm just listening to you in the workflow, I've got everything that's kind of like pre-application. I'm running in AI mode, let's say. It becomes an application, right? I get their TRID stuff. Are people using it to follow up with Chase Docs, to get the additional clear conditions, upload stuff? Is the AI doing that? Does it have that functionality or?
Right. So we do sync with your LOS. Okay. So I should say with most LOSs, with LendingPad, with Arrive, and in the process of adding Encompass, But essentially, once we've linked the files together to your LOS, any status updates within the LOS will be able to trigger an update within Loan Officer. And the reason that's important is because our system is a multi-channel communication tool. So as we are seeing files move through, approved, submitted to underwriting, clear to close, docs, et cetera, you want to have specific notifications going to the listing agent, to the buyer's agent, to the escrow officer, whomever it is you want to have as a vested party, interest party on the transaction. You can have the AI doing the communication to them, and that's really important because in trying to generate additional relationships with other real estate professionals, it allows you to have that a lot of touch opportunities with a listing agent on a purchase transaction. So yeah, the AI is very helpful in the flow of going through the loan process when it comes to the communication part. We don't have the AI currently set up to do any sort of doc collection or follow up on conditions. That is something that we eventually probably will add into the mix. As far as priorities, it's not something we see happening this year, but definitely there is a lot of additional. The road is limitless with regards to the things that we can have AI do. We're focusing primarily on getting all of the use cases with regards to the communication with borrowers, the relationship, automating the process of everything a LO has to do in order to make the sale, to manage their customer, and then we're expanding out from that point. But having connectivity with the LOS is a huge game changer because it allows you to really get customized in the messaging that happens. It's not just a generic email to your real estate agent. It allows you to really personalize, put your voice, your message in, and then ask for referrals too. So that's one of the great tools as well. After a transaction is done, you can really get specific in continuing that relationship with whoever it was that you were working with on the seller side.
I think that's awesome. It's combining a bunch of different things, and you guys just recently launched, like January, February?
Right. Yeah. Just the beginning of this year, January 2025.
And if you can say, like, how many people are up using it? Like, how many people are working on it today?
Yeah, we've got over 140 users currently.
Okay. And what was the biggest, just as you onboard a bunch of people, what's the biggest, like, kind of request that they had, maybe that you didn't think about, some problem that you'd solve that you didn't think about, right? We all have our blinders.
Right. Well, I think for me, one of the things that was really the market really spoke about was the need to have it connected to your LOS. Everybody wanted to make sure I need this connected to my LOS, and so that was something we put a lot of time in. We handle all of the integrations internally. That's something that we found that for us. We want our users to be raving users. We don't want people that are just kind of, this isn't, this is good enough. We want to have everybody having as much success on the platform as possible. And in order for them to do that, they need to have a great experience in using the platform. So what we have done is we do all integrations in-house. So you don't need a Zapier account. We do everything third-party through ours. We handle all of your third-party integrations, all that management, all of that connectivity that loan officers just don't really have the patience or the time or the bandwidth to handle when you're trying to do loans. So making sure that the systems talk to each other, making sure that you've got seamless integration, that's something that has been really important. But I think for me, one of the biggest surprising aspects of this application is when we built the AI into it, our mind was, let's help people with sales, help sales. And loan officers that utilize this platform past, I should say, post submission to processing, if they have their processors part of their team and they're in the application utilizing it, the way that the system works with the continuous conversation with borrowers, the reactive AI, the way that it's helping borrowers with their DocuSigns, with their, how to get into, upload their docs into the lender portal, things like that, the AI is able to just, really do a fantastic job on the processing and fulfillment side. And that's something that I don't think we really had anticipated when we started utilizing it, is realizing that, AI is not limited in its scope as far as what it's capable of doing. It'll continue to amaze you as you continue utilizing it at different stages of the process. So our objective was sales, but comes to find out it really works helpful as well in fulfillment.
No, on the fulfillment side, I mean, there's generic questions that get asked all the time. Who should my homeowner's deck page be made out to? I mean, that's a question that's answered thousands of times, and it's a time suck. Can you go in and ask the AI, let's say I've got a client in process, and I need additional information, can I create tasks for the AI myself?
Uh, not not in the current structure,
Okay.
but that's something that our engineers are currently developing right now. We're expanding our use cases for the AI. So the next, I should say, the next setup of what our system is going to be capable of doing is right now we've got our layers based on communication with borrowers, with all the interactions with the borrowers, and we're building the second layer of AI where we're going to expand the AI to the actual interface of utilizing with the end user. So the loan officer would be able to go in and just type in, I need to send all my previous Zillow leads a campaign, and the AI will be able to prompt them through and say, okay, I see you've got 3,700 Zillow leads. Do you want to add all of them? Okay. What do we want to have in the messaging? How do we want to? So the AI will be able to actually interface very simply with the loan officer. You just basically tell it what you want to have happen, and it will be able to create those flows, create those campaigns, and a lot of the other things too that we've expanded on that we didn't really anticipate was one of the things we've done with our AI is we wanted to make it smart with regards to pricing for each user. So what we do is our AI is pulling the rates from Freddie Mac. Freddie Mac publishes a live stream of where the rates at, so the rates are floating up and down throughout the day, and our AI is tracking that. Now, what we do is when we onboard a user, we teach the AI to know what your loan officer or your specific pricing is at. So we'll enter a margin in based off of where your pricing is tracking comparative to what the Freddie Mac averages are. So once we've established a baseline, that baseline is locked in. Freddie Mac averages go up, your averages are going to go up. So it follows the market, and so it allows you to have a real strong baseline on what your live pricing is like. And so with that live pricing in place, now we can identify opportunities in your database. If you've got borrowers that may be eligible for a refi, the AI is going to be able to identify that automatically. You can automatically engage it if you want to have a campaign that will reach out to those borrowers the second it identifies somebody that's in play. So there's a lot of tools like that we had intended to build that we've been able to expand on. Some of the things we've been able to expand on is now that we've got your live pricing tracked in, we can put that into a campaign to text your real estate agents. Hey, here's my daily rates, just a summary of here's where the market's at. The daily rate, a lot of agents find that type of information valuable. They don't want to track it. They just get it from you automatically every day. And that's just an additional touch point that loan officers have to offer value to agents and to keep your name in front of them. So those are a lot of the additional tools that we just kind of, as we've built out the system and we put all these things together, we're not built on any other platform. We're not limited by what's available in the GoHighLevel platform. We're limited only by what we decide we want to build, right? So we've got a lot of these additional tools that are very mortgage specific. We've got a quoting calculator within the system. So once you've engaged with a borrower, a couple of clicks and you can put a high level presentation, side-by-side comparison, refinance comparison, purchase comparison, all these different things that you can just quickly prepare and then shoot off to the borrowers for quick decisions, for quicker sales, for more transparent relationships. And so these are a lot of the tools that we built into the cycle of the way our application works, because again, our name says it, LoanOfficer.AI. That's all we're interested in doing, is creating tools for loan officers. We're not looking to be a broad industry solution. We're specific to what we're trying to do here, and that is basically make the loan officer's life easier and to the extent possible try to replace them, or at least do the job that a perfect loan officer would do if they were always doing everything that they could. And so having pricing built into the system, having it integrated to your LOS, having real estate agents tagged on your transactions so that as deals are moving, you're getting all the communication. You become an all-star. You never miss an update. You always follow up. You always thank you. You speak better. When I was utilizing the system the previous year when we were still doing loans and really just doing the beta testing, I found, I became a better loan officer because I relied upon the AI to craft my messaging so much. I'm A-type personality, get it done. I'm sometimes not the one to put in the pleases, the thank yous, the way that the AI puts those in. I just found borrowers being, oh, thank you so much. What a great what a great experience it was working with you. I'm like, well, thanks. It was mostly our AI, but
Right.
so yeah, just being able to actually, utilize it and see the way that it works, it's a phenomenal, tool and assistant that really, I think, continues to surprise us on the things that it's able to do.
One last question, and can you determine tone? Can on parts of my onboarding, if I wanted to, say, hey, speak a little sassy with an Australian accent, can I add a little bit of flair in there, and will it kind of begin to learn my personality?
Yeah, so as it does replicate your cadence and your flow of any changes that you make to the verbiage. Now, and it also does, if you want to make it, like you said, sassy. We had one loan officer that was like, "Hey, I want to send a campaign. I'm really good friends with all my realtors. I don't want to put all this corporate,
Right.
bumbo jumbo, and I want to, hey, yo, what's up?" So when we were creating the campaign objective, we just told it exactly, use this type of, conversation language, and it didn't sound 100% perfect like what he was hoping for, but it was you could see that the AI was getting it, and so there's still things that are, we've got to kind of teach it and train it a little bit, but but by and large, yeah, it absolutely is going to follow the kind of the directions that you put in. And again, that's in the bio for the company, for the loan officer. When we bring everybody on, we have them set up their specifics as to what are their use cases, what do they want to use it for. Do you want the AI to set up your appointments with internally, or do you use a third party at Calendly? Like all these different things as far as the different ways you can utilize it. That's all customized and so very specific to what the loan officer and use cases and endpoints are.
And last question, does it learn? So like if I go in, it gives me suggestions for an email, I tweak it, use different verbiage. Is it picking that up and learning my tweaks along the way?
Yeah. So anytime you correct it, it's going to learn that correction. Let me give you a great point. So we have, the AI, again, knowing all agency guidelines, it's going to know that you can do down to a 500 FICO for an FHA, but most lenders are going to require 580, right? So the AI is able to differentiate between those two. Now, some lenders that work for, brokers, they want to say that they go down to the 500. Some people that are, corporate, retail lenders, they don't do anything sub 580 or 620. All you have to do is tell the AI our FHAs are at 620, and it will remember that every single time moving forward. So it's a self-learning system. Any shifts you make to it, whether it's guidelines, whether it's verbiage, whether the way you talk, what you're asking for, your loan application links, anything you change, the AI is going to remember, and it's going to continue to utilize that moving forward. So it's a self-learning system.
And just some things here, and I don't know if you have anything else, but I have just, in listening to this, some things that I would just highlight to people. The fact that you guys take care of the integrations, again, that's one of the places where loan officers really stumble. Even if I have to go and get a Zapier account and do different things, right? Just me saying it, if you're listening to it on the other end and saying, like, that scares me, I don't want to do it, it's a major hurdle. It's not to you because you're a tech guy, but to the loan officer, like, they handle that. Being able to go in and just have preloaded in campaigns, I think is amazing. And the fact that you're actually, loan officers, and this is built for a loan officer use case, not on top of the GoHighLevel platform, which is awesome, right? But it's something different. So if you are out there and thinking about, possibly making a change or doing something different, there's, and I'll have Jared show us where you can go. You can probably just go right and look online and they'll give you a place to get a demo.
Right.
But that part of it, I think, sells itself. And just listening to them and being there and having done it, I think it makes me kind of almost want to go back and write loans a little bit instead of just doing the coaching side. Because I do think it's a lot of fun and there's neat things that are happening so fast. It's going to become very easy if you can sell and communicate with people and understand programs and kind of nail it on the AI and stuff's going to take care of the basics. If you've got that next layer of skill sets, it's going to be pretty awesome. So people are on it. They're up running. What's got you most excited right now?
Well, I'm most excited by basically the what's possible, right, with the data sets that we've got. So we've really built out a very robust system, and seeing the success that everybody's having with it as it is right now, it just gets me excited about the additional things that we can do with regards to AI agents. So yeah, I mean, it's something that we've got a team that works full time developing out new features. It's something that we've got all our foot on the gas on. So we're continually adding new upgrades, features, tools, tweaks to just make things better. Because this industry is literally reinventing itself every couple of months. There's new releases with AI, new upgrades to technology. So I'm most excited to see where things are going to continue to go, and I think that we've got a lot of great opportunities to be a leader in the space.
And if you were, so I'm going to ask you to put your loan officer hat back on. If you were back today, you were done with your company, you couldn't do it, it was right, somebody else took it over, you just had to go, and you were a loan officer sitting out there today, what would be the the number one thing that you would be doing, like where would you start personally?
I would say building a network. Getting to know people. Really, really building something without really needing to have just to create value, right? If to understand what it means to create value and to be able to do that for people in a network, people online, to do it in social media places, but to get somewhere where your voice can actually start to resonate, and something that the information that you've got can actually help people, and to really kind of just channel what your passion is in the industry. Like, what are the things that you enjoy doing? Because I really believe that if you have an internal joy and drive and passion in what it is you're pushing towards, that you'll be successful in that end. So don't do something that doesn't feel like it's something that you really resonates with the energy that you're at, and just focus on building value for others, and that value will come back to you in sources of leads and opportunities, and just focus on building value for people.
And here I thought you were going to give us something about how ways that we can crush it with direct mail or email marketing to an FHA list. But
yeah, well, it's not a refi market, right? It's not really a refi market. So I think relationships is where I see the majority of people having long-term consistency is when you've got those realtors that are loyal to you, or you've got people that are in your network that you're getting deals. I rode the refi train, I think, for a lot of years. I think a lot of us did, when we saw rates just kind of continue to go down after those 9/11 years, and then through the crash of the 2008. So it was always I think we had a downward rate market for almost a decade and a half, it feels like, and so it just kind of depends on the market. Like, if you can go direct to consumer, absolutely. If you can cut out the middleman and you can actually create value for somebody directly that's a homeowner, go to them. Get them onto a refi. Like, our system is set up to be able to identify those opportunities quickly, send the borrower a proposal showing them the value. But it's about isolating it to figuring out how you can prevent value to somebody. So if that value is going to be in going, marketing to HELOCs, or marketing to people that need reverse mortgages, or whatever it may be, locate that niche, find that area of where you can really shine your expertise and really kind of stand out, and then focus on driving that sector of the business. Some people it's working with referral partners. Other people, it may be direct to consumer. So it really just kind of all depends upon the market settings, what your objective is, what your product is. But there's definitely plenty of opportunity out there in the market. So just I think focusing on creating value, whatever it is you're doing.
Yeah, I believe that we all have unique value that we can bring in different spots. Right? If I'm 84 years old and run marathons, like, I can bring value to everybody that's old, with fitness tips and different kinds of things. One last question while I've kind of got you here. I do a lot. We have inside of this is a selfish question, inside of my coaching community, we have a FinLocker app that I give to people, right? And I don't know how familiar you are with FinLocker. It's a financial fitness app. People can search for homes, a whole lot of stuff inside of there. Would there be a way to set that up, right? You handle integrations, but as somebody signs up for that app, that it could go back in, if they have open APIs, create leads and do those kind of things, to where that sync starts happening as well, to where...
Yeah, we connect with thousands of applications.
Okay.
We were direct Zapier connected, software provider. So what was the name of the application again? I'm just going to jot it down here. FinLocker.
Yeah.
So our engineers can either set up a webhook with them. We can do API connectivity, but literally anybody that needs something connected, there's in our portal, there's a spot to request the connectivity. We'll get a little details as far as what's the use case, what are you trying to do here, and then our team will go and set up the connections through either Zapier, webhooks, or API.
Nice. And just one last question, right? You guys are relatively new. People often ask, like, where do I get information? So where's the best place for them to go if they want a demo, if they want to see you, talk to you? What's the best spot?
Yeah. So best spot would just be to go to LoanOfficer.AI. That's our website. We're LoanOfficer.AI. Don't confuse us. There's another company that I think as Loan Officer CRM.AI, and they're built off a GoHighLevel. I think they're affiliated with the mortgage marketing animals, but that's not us. We're a completely separate system. We're built from the ground up. We're not connected to GoHighLevel or that group. Sometimes people confuse it. They'll come to book our demo and they'll be like, "Hey, I thought you guys were with Carl White." And that's not us. But they sometimes often like our product better. So what am I going to say? But the LoanOfficer.AI is our URL. Go there, book a demo. And I do have Connor, who's my sales manager. He does the majority of the demos, but I'm also happy to hop on any calls if anybody needs, any use cases, if they want to, explore if ways that we can make this application work. But really, usually getting in on a demo and just kind of showing you all the different use cases, how it can help automate a lot of opportunities for loan officers, things we didn't think about that, engaging a borrower that listed their home for sale. Let's put something in front of them, right? So little things we can do as far as opportunities to automate that and utilize AI to help us in outreaching to your database.
Well, I think this has been great. And I talk to, sit in on a lot of demos. If you're out there and you're thinking about making a change, the technology, whatever you have, I don't care what you use. I think some are better than others, but whatever you buy, make sure that you actually use it. So that's the biggest tidbit. And the more I look at this, the more I see it, the more I talk to you guys about it. I think that your intentions are in the right spot. You're really trying to push people forward and actually help them do more. And you're signing up people left and right. So I think that's awesome. And do you guys is there like a weekly call, monthly call? Do you guys do anything from a support side just for people that want more info or people that are already using the system?
Right. Yeah. So essentially, we have a AI trained chat tool that would help people support wise, and it can book additional support calls with our support team. So we'll do one-on-ones if they need a quick tutorial or help with the system. It's pretty intuitive. So after a user gets up and usually is using the system after the first week or two, it's pretty self-sustainable. But yeah, absolutely, we have full support staff as far as anybody needing additional tools. They're able to always book a support call and get on and get some support and help.
Well, this has been awesome. I appreciate your time. I think what you're building is great. And I'm sure that if we look back on this in 6 months, 12 months, we'll be like, I can't believe it only did that. So the world's moving really fast. It's good to see people staying on top, helping us knuckle draggers out.
Yeah, I appreciate it, John. I appreciate this platform and giving me the opportunity to share our tools, and I look forward to it.
Hey, not a problem. You have a great day. Appreciate it, you guys. Jared's also on LinkedIn, so check him out.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
If you're still here and you're watching this, you're probably getting something from our content. If so, maybe or I'm sure someone else that could also benefit. So if you could do us a solid, forward this, share it with your friends, other people that are like-minded that want help with simple solutions to grow their business. And if you want to do a little bit of a deeper dive someplace on here, there is a place to schedule a call with us to talk about your business and how we can grow it together. Look forward to hearing from you. Again, thank you for being here. Please do share.